Great.
How are you? We're gathered here with a few of our good friends and thought we might share something with them. There are a lot of con men in the history of the world, always taking somebody else. And I think most con men would make good magicians if they wanted to cut and pay. You know, but the most famous con man in American history, one of the most famous, was a fellow by the name of Count Vincent Leipzig. Count Vincent Leipzig. And he was popular in the 20s and 30s, and he was so good, he was the only person that ever took Al Capone, and he did it twice. And he was also known to have sold the Eiffel Tower. A great con man. But what he did best, he made money. He counterfeited money. When other people were doing this with printing presses, he said it was too risky. When the raid would come, they'd find the press, you know, he'd be caught. So he had a different system whatsoever. He wasn't even a count, but he called himself Count Vincent. All right, but what the count did, he took some blank papers, and what I want you to do, Colleen, is look those over, look through them, make sure there's nothing hidden in between those, all right? All right, and what the count would do, he took some ordinary envelopes, and what he did, he took the money, the blank money, and he put it in an empty envelope. So let's take one of the envelopes. What I want you to do, first of all, Colleen, is verify to everybody here that that is indeed an empty envelope, okay? Until you place those blanks in. Did you look at every one of those, both sides? Mm-hmm. All right, and I want you to go ahead and place those in the envelope if you would. All right, we'll get them all the way in there. And just so you know I'm not going to change anything around, I want you to go ahead and sign that envelope right there across the back. Keep the pen, because what we're going to do, we're going to take that envelope, and I want to seal it, and also I want to put your name on, but let's go ahead and seal it first. Do you mind if I do the licking? All right, and that is your envelope, and we're going to go ahead and close that and seal it tight. Okay. And just to make sure, go ahead and sign that front of that as well. Now, what Sir Vincent did, Count Vincent, he would take the envelope that contains blank paper that you will verify. And this is not a change of envelope, that is yours, signed on both sides, and sealed. And what he would do, he would cut off the end of the envelope. This was amazing apparatus that he came up with, because it allowed people to raid his place and never find a printing press. Well, after he would do that, he would also make a little hole right here in the side of the envelope, like that. And he would also make one about right here. And he was almost ready to start counterfeiting money. And let me tell you what his secret was. It wasn't so much the envelope or the blank paper. It was an apparatus that he made in his garage that looked just like this. I've acquired this from the federal government. And it's a crank, as you can see. And what he would do, he would take this odd-looking thing, and he would actually place it into the hole made earlier and everything was about ready. The crank was ready. The envelope was ready. Are you ready, Colleen? Because this is what Count Vincent was able to do. By turning the crank that he made in his garage, his first bill would oh yes, I forgot something. Would you hand me Exhibit A? These are reproductions of items that were in Count Vincent's trial. So if you will find Exhibit A and hand me that, please. Go ahead and take it out of the paper bag, or the Ziploc bag. And here's what I did wrong. I didn't take Exhibit A that says $5 on it. And I want to place this now on the crank. And just with that maneuver, ladies and gentlemen, watch very carefully. As he began to crank the envelope, the first 5 came out. And it's absolutely looks very realistic, would you say? You won't be able to keep that. I have to give this back to the government. They will destroy these because these are just for demonstration purposes. In fact, he could turn the crank all day long and make souvenirs for everybody if he wanted to. You see? Because these are pretty good. And it was amazing because when the feds would come, right, and they would bust in, all he would do was take Exhibit A off of the crank, and they said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm not doing anything. I'm just playing with paper and a crank." And that would come up like that. Now, the only trouble with Sir Vincent, he got a little greedy. Would you hand me Exhibit B, please? And when Sir Vincent took Exhibit B and placed that on the crank, the next time he turned the crank, up came
wow,
a $100 bill.
Wow.
And, ladies and gentlemen, you may keep the envelope and the paper. If you make any more yourself, don't call me because I can't afford your bail. Thank you.